When CEO Marcus Stone saw Jessica crying outside her apartment building, eviction notice in hand, he made a decision that would change everything. But keeping his identity secret became impossible when his heart got involved. Before we begin, leave a comment telling us which city you're watching from. And when we finish, don't forget to rate this story from 0 to 10. Enjoy the story. Marcus Stone pulled his black Bentley to the curb in Seattle's Capitol Hill neighborhood. At 38, he was worth $4 billion as CEO of Stone Financial Group. His world was boardrooms and quarterly reports. But today he needed to see real life. Something made him stop. A young woman sat on apartment steps, head in hands, sobbing quietly. Papers scattered around her feet in the wind. The woman was maybe 27, with auburn hair and worn clothes. What struck Marcus was her dignity, even in despair. "Mommy, why are you crying?" A little girl, about 4, emerged from the building. Same auburn hair and pigtails, carrying a stuffed rabbit. "I'm okay, sweetheart," the woman said, wiping her eyes. "Just thinking about grown-up things. Are we moving again?" The child asked. "I don't know yet, Lily, but we'll figure it out together." Marcus watched as the woman Jessica gathered the scattered papers. He saw what they were: final notice and eviction proceedings. This wasn't just a bad day. This was a mother and daughter about to lose their home. Marcus stepped from his car and walked closer, pretending to check his phone. "Mrs. Thompson, please," Jessica spoke into her cell phone. "I know I'm 2 months behind, but I have a job interview tomorrow. If I get this position, I can pay everything. Just 1 more week." Pause. Her face grew pale. "I understand, but Lily and I have nowhere to go. My parents died 3 years ago. Please, just until Friday." Another pause. Her shoulders slumped. "Yes, I understand. Thank you for your patience." She hung up and immediately dialed another number. "Hi, this is Jessica Martinez. I interviewed for the marketing position." "Oh, I see. Thank you for letting me know." She sat back down heavily. Lily snuggled against her mother. "Mommy, are you crying again?" "Just a little, baby. But we're brave and stick together, right?" Marcus stood frozen, watching this moment of love and desperation. Jessica's grace under pressure moved him more than any business achievement. Before he could think, Marcus found himself walking toward them. "Excuse me," he said gently. "I couldn't help but notice you seemed upset. Everything all right?" Jessica looked up, startled. Through tears, Marcus saw remarkable green eyes. "Oh, I'm sorry. We're fine, really. Mommy's sad because we might have to move," Lily announced. "Lily, we don't need to bother this nice man." Marcus knelt to Lily's level. "Hi there, I'm Marcus. What's your name?" "I'm Lily, and this is Mr. Hopscotch," she said, holding up her rabbit. "He's very soft. Want to feel?" Marcus smiled genuinely. He seemed special. "Nice to meet you both. I'm Jessica," the woman said reluctantly. "Nice to meet you, Jessica. I live in the neighborhood and couldn't help overhearing. Having housing troubles?" Jessica's cheeks flushed. "Sorry you heard that. It's nothing we can't handle. Actually, I might help. I work in real estate consulting, and sometimes there are assistance programs for families like yours. Who's your landlord?" Jessica hesitated. "Mrs. Thompson. She owns this building. She's been patient, but everyone has limits," Marcus finished gently. "Exactly. Sometimes there are charitable foundations helping working families with temporary assistance. Not charity, more like community loans. Would you be open to me making calls?" Jessica looked at him suspiciously. "Why help strangers?" "I went through a rough patch myself. Someone helped when I needed it most. Promise to pay it forward." "I don't accept charity," Jessica said firmly. "It wouldn't be charity. These are legitimate programs funded by community donations." Lily tugged Marcus's sleeve. "Are you going to help us not move?" Marcus felt his heart clench. "I'm going to try my very best, sweetheart." Jessica looked at her daughter's hopeful face. "If there really are programs like that, I suppose it couldn't hurt." "Wonderful," Marcus said, pulling out his phone. "Let me get your information." As Jessica provided details, Marcus was already planning. He would contact Mrs. Thompson directly, pay Jessica's rent, but make it appear from an assistance program. I should have information by tomorrow evening. Try not to worry tonight. Thank you so much, Jessica said, fighting tears. I can't tell you what this means. Walking to his car, Marcus heard Lily ask, Mommy, do you think Mr. Marcus is an angel? I don't know, baby. But maybe. Next morning, Marcus cancelled meetings and drove to Capitol Hill. His first stop, Mrs. Thompson in apartment 1A, Eleanor. Thompson was 70-something with silver hair and kind eyes. She answered wearing a floral apron. Mrs. Thompson? I'm Marcus Stone. I understand you own this building. I do. Looking to rent? No vacancies right now. Actually, I'm here about Jessica Martinez in 3B. Mrs. Thompson's expression became protective. If you're from social services, I already said I'm not throwing a mother and child onto the street. I'm not from any agency. I want to help Jessica with her rent. Who are you exactly? Marcus pulled out his business card. Mrs. Thompson's eyes widened. Mr. Stone, what could someone like you want with Jessica? I met her yesterday during a difficult moment. She seems like a good person facing impossible circumstances. I'd like to help, but she can't know it's from me. Mrs. Thompson invited him inside her modest apartment. Jessica is wonderful, she said, pouring coffee. Moved here 2 years ago after her husband died in a car accident, left with nothing but debts and a baby. What about family? None. Parents died when she was in college. Husband had no relatives. She's been working 3 part-time jobs, but it's never enough. Last month her car broke down, had to choose between fixing it and paying rent. Chose the car because she needs it for work. Marcus felt his admiration growing. How much does she owe? $3,000 back rent, plus this month's $1,500. But why do you want to help? I believe in helping people who help themselves. Here's what I propose. Marcus explained his plan. He'd pay Jessica's debt and 6 months' future rent, but Mrs. Thompson would tell Jessica a charitable foundation had approved her for assistance. I don't like lying to her, Mrs. Thompson said. It's preserving her dignity. Jessica has pride. She might refuse help from a wealthy stranger. Mrs. Thompson studied him. What's in this for you? Nothing. Sometimes good people need help. You want nothing in return? Only that Jessica never knows I was involved. After discussion, Mrs. Thompson agreed. Marcus transferred the money immediately. Next, Marcus visited a real estate office and rented a 1-bedroom apartment 2 blocks from Jessica's building. I travel for business, he told the agent. Prefer quiet places over hotels. The real reason was simpler. He wanted to be near Jessica and Lily. That afternoon, Mrs. Thompson called. I told Jessica about the foundation. Mr. Stone, I've never heard someone cry from pure relief. She kept asking if it was real. How did she react? Wanted to know what she needed to do to qualify. I told her the foundation had reviewed her case based on community recommendations, 12 months of assistance. And she believed it completely. Asked me to thank the foundation. Said she'd never forget this kindness. Marcus felt warmth better than any business success. That evening he watched from his new apartment as Jessica and Lily returned from grocery shopping. Jessica's posture was different, straighter, more confident. She was laughing with Lily, stress lines around her eyes already softening. 2 weeks later, Marcus began phase 2. He'd learned Jessica worked downtown 3 days weekly, took freelance projects, and spent weekends with Lily at local parks and the community center. Marcus timed his first coincidental encounter for Saturday morning at Volunteer Park. He dressed casually expensive clothes that looked modest. He spotted them immediately. Jessica was pushing Lily on a swing, the girl shrieking with delight, stuffed rabbit in her lap. Marcus approached slowly, pretending to jog. Jessica? Jessica Martinez, he called, feigning surprise. Jessica looked up, smiling with recognition. Marcus, what are you doing here? I actually live nearby now. Just moved to Harvard Avenue. Small world. Very small, Jessica agreed, slowing Lily's swing. Lily, remember Marcus? He helped with our housing situation. Lily looked at Marcus seriously. Hi, Marcus. Do you remember Mr. Hopscotch? Of course. How is he? He's good. Mommy says we don't have to move, so Mr. Hopscotch is happy. I'm so glad, Marcus said. How are things with the assistance program? It's been a miracle, Jessica said emotionally. I still can't believe how quickly it was approved. Mrs. Thompson said the foundation was impressed. You deserve the help. Sometimes good things happen to good people. I've been volunteering at the community center weekends, trying to give back. Feels important to help others when you've been helped. Marcus was touched. That's wonderful. What kind of volunteering? Job placement program. I've been through enough interviews to know what works. Help with resumes and cover letters. That's thoughtful. Lily tugged Jessica's hand. Mommy, can we feed the ducks now? Of course, Marcus, great seeing you. Maybe we'll run into each other around the neighborhood. I'd like that. Actually, if you don't mind company, I was planning to walk around the pond. Mind if I join you? Lily answered first. Yes, Mr. Hopscotch likes ducks. As they walked, Marcus enjoyed genuine conversation. Jessica was intelligent and funny, with insights about everything from local politics to Lily's dinosaur fascination. What brought you to Seattle? Jessica asked as they watched Lily feed mallards. Needed a fresh start. Been working too much, not enjoying life. Seattle seemed perfect to slow down and figure out what I really wanted. I understand completely. Moving here with Lily was scary, but it was the best decision. This neighborhood has such strong community. They spent 2 hours at the park. Marcus was amazed how natural it felt, no pretense, just enjoying each other's company. Lily was charming, asking about everything from his favorite ice cream to whether dinosaurs were good swimmers. When time came to leave, Jessica surprised him. Would you like to come back for lunch? I was planning grilled cheese sandwiches, and Lily loves showing her room to new friends. Marcus accepted eagerly but tried not to seem too enthusiastic. Over following weeks, Marcus and Jessica's friendship developed naturally. Chance meetings at the coffee shop where Jessica worked on freelance projects, at the grocery store, at the community center. Marcus let Jessica lead in deepening their friendship. His patience was rewarded when she began inviting him to weekend activities, farmers markets, free museums, park picnics. Through these outings, Marcus gained insight into Jessica's resourcefulness. She'd mastered finding free entertainment for Lily every library story time, community event, playground in the area. But he also noticed how carefully she budgeted every purchase, ensuring Lily never went without, even if Jessica skipped meals. You're amazing at finding fun things that don't cost much, Marcus observed, watching Lily play in the botanical garden. You learn creativity when money's tight, Jessica replied with a tired smile. Lily doesn't need expensive entertainment, just attention and new experiences. She's lucky to have such a thoughtful mother. I'm lucky she's been so resilient through our changes. Marcus wanted to ask about Jessica's past, but sensed she wasn't ready. Instead, he focused on being present, helping carry Lily during long walks, listening to Jessica's freelance work concerns, offering to babysit during important interviews. During one babysitting session, Marcus realized he'd fallen completely for both Jessica and her daughter. Jessica had a non-profit interview, and Marcus volunteered to stay with Lily. Are you sure you don't mind? Jessica asked. She gets attached to people quickly. I'm looking forward to it. Lily and I will have a great time. We're building a fort with couch cushions, Lily announced, and having a tea party with Mr. Hopscotch. After Jessica left, Marcus was charmed by imaginative play. Lily was bright and creative, constantly surprising him. When she asked if he had children, Marcus felt unexpected longing. No, I don't. Why not? Never found the right person to have children with. Lily considered this seriously. Mommy says someday she might find me a new daddy, but he has to be really nice and love me as much as she does. Your mommy is very smart. Do you think you might want to be someone's daddy someday? The question hit Marcus hard. Looking at this precious girl, thinking about Jessica's strength, he realized he very much wanted to be part of a family like this. I think I would like that very much. When Jessica returned, she found them asleep on the couch, surrounded by fort remnants and tea party supplies. Seeing her daughter curled trustingly against this man made Jessica's heart skip in ways that both thrilled and terrified her. How did it go? Marcus asked softly. Really well. They said they'd let me know by Friday. That's great. You deserve a job that appreciates your talents. As Marcus prepared to leave, Lily hugged him tightly. Thank you for playing. Will you come back soon? Whenever your mom will have me, Marcus replied, looking at Jessica. You're always welcome here, Jessica said, meaning it. Spring became summer. Marcus spent almost every weekend with Jessica and Lily. Their friendship had evolved into something deeper, though neither acknowledged the romantic tension. Jessica got the non-profit job, steady income and health insurance for the first time since her husband's death. She was happier and more confident than Marcus had ever seen, and watching her flourish made him proud in ways no business success ever had. I can't believe how much my life has changed, Jessica confided one evening on her small balcony, watching Lily play below. 6 months ago, I was terrified about losing our home. Now I have a job I love, financial stability, and... She paused, glancing at Marcus shyly. And what? Really good friends. People I can count on. Marcus felt his heart race. I feel the same. You and Lily have become the best part of my life here. They looked at each other, and Marcus saw something shifting in Jessica's expression, an openness suggesting she was letting her guard down. Marcus, can I ask something personal? Of course. Have you ever been married? You never mentioned family or relationships. Marcus had prepared for this, but it still made him uncomfortable to continue his deception. I was engaged once, but it didn't work out. My lifestyle was too demanding, too focused on work. She said I was married to my career instead of being present. This was actually true. Marcus had been engaged to a fellow executive who'd ended things, when she realized business would always come first. I'm sorry. That must have been difficult. It was, but I realize now we weren't right for each other. What about you? Jessica's expression grew sad. His name was David. We met in college, married after graduation. He was good, but struggled with depression and anxiety. After Lily was born, it got worse. He started drinking to cope, and then one night, she took a shaky breath. He was driving home in the rain and lost control. Police said he probably fell asleep at the wheel. Marcus felt compassion for Jessica and anger at life's unfairness. I'm so sorry, I can't imagine how difficult that was. The hardest part was David had life insurance, but because there was alcohol in his system, they refused to pay. I was left with his debts, no savings, and a 6-month-old baby. That's why I moved here, couldn't afford to stay in our old town. You're incredibly strong to have gotten through that. I didn't have a choice. Lily needed me to be strong. They sat in comfortable silence. Marcus struggled with guilt over his deception and admiration for Jessica's resilience. Marcus, Jessica said softly, I want you to know I haven't been interested in dating anyone since David died. But lately, I've been thinking maybe it's time to open my heart again. To take a chance on caring about someone. The implication was clear. Marcus felt torn between elation and panic. Jessica was developing romantic feelings, but for a version of him that didn't exist. Jessica, you know I care about you and Lily very much. I know, and I think you might care about me as more than just a friend. Marcus looked into her eyes and saw hope and vulnerability. He knew he should tell her the truth before things went further. But the thought of losing her, of seeing trust turn to hurt and betrayal, was unbearable. I do care about you as more than a friend, much more. Jessica smiled, and Marcus felt like the world's biggest fraud and luckiest man simultaneously. I'm scared, Jessica whispered. I haven't felt this way since David, and part of me feels guilty for moving on. You shouldn't feel guilty for being happy. David would want you and Lily to have a good life. Do you really think so? I know so. 2 weeks later, Marcus made a decision that changed everything. As they walked back from dinner at a small neighborhood restaurant, Lily skipping ahead, Marcus took Jessica's hand. Jessica, I need to tell you something. She looked at him expectantly. In the soft streetlight glow, Marcus saw love and trust that made his confession both necessary and impossible. What is it? I think I'm falling in love with you. Jessica stopped walking and faced him fully. Marcus, I think I'm falling in love with you too. When they kissed under the streetlight, with Lily giggling nearby, Marcus felt happier than he'd ever been. But he also knew this happiness was built on a foundation of lies that would eventually crumble. The revelation came on a warm July afternoon in the most unexpected way. Jessica was at the community center helping a young mother named Maria with job applications when her world turned upside down. "Thank you so much," Maria said. "Ever since my husband lost his job, everything's been falling apart." "I know exactly how you feel," Jessica replied. "A few months ago, I was facing eviction. But I was lucky. There was this assistance program, and I got connected through the kindest man." As they worked, Jessica's attention was drawn to the television in the corner. A local news program was running a business segment about Seattle's financial sector. Stone Financial Group CEO Marcus Stone has been notably absent from high-profile industry events this summer, the anchor was saying, leading to speculation about the future of the $4 billion investment firm. Jessica's blood turned to ice. The screen showed a professional headshot of a man in an expensive suit. Despite the formal setting, there was no mistaking the face. It was Marcus, her Marcus, the freelance consultant who lived modestly and helped her find assistance programs. Stone, known for his hands-on approach to major deals, the anchor continued, has reportedly been delegating responsibilities and declining meetings with international clients. Jessica stared in shock, barely hearing Maria's chatter. Marcus Stone, CEO, $4 billion. The numbers swirled in her head, making no sense with the man she thought she knew. "Miss Jessica? Are you okay?" Maria asked, noticing Jessica's pallor. I need to go. Something's come up." She practically ran home, mind spinning with questions and implications. If Marcus was really the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company, then everything about their relationship was built on lies. But worse than the lies was realizing Marcus might have been involved in her assistance program approval. The timing had been too perfect, too convenient. Jessica felt sick as pieces clicked into place. Marcus hadn't just lied about who he was, he'd manipulated her entire life. The assistance program, her new job, probably dozens of other lucky breaks that had seemed too good to be true. When Jessica arrived home, Mrs. Thompson was checking mail in the lobby. "Jessica dear, you look upset. Everything all right?" "Mrs. Thompson, I need to ask about the assistance program that helped with my rent. Do you remember details about the foundation?" The elderly woman looked uncomfortable. "Well, dear, Please, it's important." Mrs. Thompson sighed heavily. "Jessica, I think you should sit down." "What is it?" "There was no foundation, dear. The money came from Marcus Stone. He approached me directly and asked me to help you without you knowing where the assistance really came from." Jessica felt the world tilt. "Marcus Stone, the billionaire? You know who he really is? I just found out. How long have you known?" "Since the beginning. He told me he'd met you and wanted to help, but that you were too proud to accept charity from a stranger. He seemed to genuinely care about you and Lily." Jessica sank into a lobby chair, overwhelmed by the magnitude of Marcus's deception. "He's been lying to me for months about everything." "Jessica, I'm not defending what he did, but I think his intentions were good." "How can you say that?" "He's been manipulating my entire life." That evening, when Marcus arrived for their regular dinner, Jessica was waiting in the lobby. Her face was cold and distant. "Jessica? What's happened?" "I know who you really are, Marcus. Or should I say, Mr. Stone?" Marcus felt his heart stop. "Jessica, let me explain." "Explain what? How you've been lying to me for months?" "How you've been manipulating my life, making me think I was getting help from some foundation when really it was just you playing games with the poor single mother. I was trying to help you. I was trying to take care of you and Lily. I didn't ask you to take care of us. I asked you to be honest with me." Lily appeared in the doorway, drawn by raised voices. "Mommy? Marcus? Why are you sad?" Jessica immediately knelt to Lily's level. "Marcus has to go now, sweetheart. Say goodbye. But we were going to read our book." "I'm sorry, Lily," Marcus said, his heart breaking. "We'll have to finish it another time." "When?" Marcus glanced at Jessica, who was shaking her head. "I don't know, sweetheart." "Be good for your mommy." He kissed the top of Lily's head and left, knowing he might have lost the only family he'd ever truly loved. 3 months passed in misery for Marcus. He threw himself back into work with vengeance. making up for lost time and rebuilding relationships with frustrated investors and partners. Stone Financial Group was thriving again. The Singapore deal had gone through, netting over $1 billion. Marcus had been featured on magazine covers and invited to speak at economic forums worldwide. By every external measure, his life was exactly what it had been before meeting Jessica. But Marcus knew something fundamental had changed inside him, something that made all his professional success feel hollow and meaningless. He thought about Jessica and Lily every day. Through discreet inquiries, he learned they were doing well. Jessica had been promoted to assistant manager at the nonprofit, and Lily had started kindergarten and loved it. They'd moved to a slightly better apartment in the same neighborhood. Marcus had ensured that anonymous assistants would continue Jessica's rent, Lily's healthcare, various other supports that made their lives easier without being obvious charity. It was the only way he could still take care of them, even though he knew Jessica would be furious if she discovered his continued involvement. Sometimes he drove through their neighborhood, hoping to catch a glimpse of them, but he never stopped, never made contact. Jessica had asked him to stay away, and despite the pain it caused, he was honoring that request. One December evening, as snow began falling over Seattle, Marcus made a decision that would change everything. He picked up his phone and called Mrs. Thompson. "Mrs. Thompson, it's Marcus Stone." "Mr. Stone, I was wondering when I'd hear from you. How are they doing?" "Jessica is doing well. She got promoted at the nonprofit. Lily started kindergarten and loves it. But what? I think Jessica misses you, though she'd never admit it. And Lily asks about you constantly." Marcus felt his heart clench. "Mrs. Thompson, I want to do something. Something that might help Jessica understand why I did what I did." "What do you have in mind?" "I want to start a real foundation. The Jessica Martinez Foundation for Single Mothers. Exactly like the fake one I created, but real this time. I want Jessica to run it." "And you think she'll agree to that?" "I think if she can help other families like hers, she might. Will you talk to her?" A week later, Mrs. Thompson called back. "She's interested, but she wants to meet with you first. She has conditions." Marcus's heart raced. Anything. Complete honesty. No more lies, no matter how well-intentioned. Agreed. They met at the same coffee shop where Marcus had first watched Jessica work on freelance projects. She looked beautiful but guarded when she walked in. "Hello, Marcus." "Jessica. Thank you for agreeing to meet." They sat across from each other, the air thick with everything unsaid. "Mrs. Thompson told me about your foundation idea," Jessica began. "I want to help other families like yours. And I want you to run it because you understand what it's like to need help, but be too proud to ask for it. Why should I trust you? You lied to me for months." Marcus took a deep breath. "Because I love you. I loved you from the moment I saw you on those apartment steps fighting for your daughter with such grace and dignity. I lied because I was terrified that if you knew who I really was, you'd treat me differently. Everyone always does. You didn't give me the chance to prove I was different. You're right, I was a coward. But Jessica, everything I felt for you was real. Every moment we spent together, every laugh, every conversation, that was the real me. The only lie was about money." Jessica was quiet for a long moment. "If we do this, if I agree to run your foundation, it has to be professional. Nothing personal. I understand. And Lily, she's been asking about you. She doesn't understand why you disappeared. I miss her too, more than you know. You can see her. But as her mother's business partner, nothing more." It wasn't what Marcus had hoped for, but it was a start. The Jessica Martinez Foundation launched 6 months later. It provided exactly the kind of assistance that had saved Jessica and Lily temporary housing help, job placement services, childcare support, and emergency funds for working single mothers. Jessica threw herself into the work with passion and dedication. She understood these women's struggles intimately and fought for each family with fierce determination. Marcus provided the funding and business expertise, but Jessica ran the day-to-day operations. Working together, they helped over 100 families in the first year. Jessica's natural empathy combined with Marcus's resources created something powerful and meaningful. Slowly, very slowly, Jessica began to see the man Marcus really was beneath the wealth and deception. She watched him interact with the families they helped, saw how he listened to their stories with genuine compassion, how he never talked down to anyone despite his education and success. "You're different than I expected," Jessica admitted one evening as they reviewed applications in the foundation office. "Different how?" "More human. When I found out who you really were, I thought you must be cold and calculating. But you're not. You're just lonely." Marcus looked up from the files. "Very lonely. Until I met you and Lily." "Marcus." "I know, professional only. But I want you to know that helping these families, working alongside you, it's given my life meaning it never had before." Jessica softened slightly. "I can see that. The families we help, they adore you. Mrs. Chen calls you her angel investor. Literally." They laughed together, and for a moment, it felt like old times. Lily, now 6 and in first grade, had adjusted to seeing Marcus in this new context. She was thrilled to have him back in her life, even if the relationship was different. "Marcus, will you read me a story?" she asked one evening when he stopped by to drop off foundation documents. Jessica hesitated, then nodded. "One story." "Then bedtime." As Marcus read to Lily, Jessica watched from the doorway. The tenderness in his voice, the way Lily curled up against him trustingly, it reminded her of everything she'd fallen in love with before. "Mommy, can Marcus stay for dinner sometimes?" Lily asked after he'd finished the story. "We'll see, sweetheart." But Jessica was already considering it. A year after the foundation launched, Jessica made a decision that surprised even herself. She invited Marcus to Lily's 7th birthday party. "Are you sure?" he asked when she called. "Lily specifically requested you. She said it wouldn't be a real party without Uncle Marcus." "Uncle Marcus?" "That's what she calls you now. I hope that's okay." Marcus felt his throat tighten with emotion. "It's perfect." The party was small, just a few of Lily's school friends, Mrs. Thompson, Mrs. Garcia from the cafe, and some families from the foundation. Marcus arrived with a carefully chosen gift, a set of books about strong women in history. "These are for girls who want to change the world," he told Lily as she unwrapped them. "Like Mommy does with the foundation, exactly like that." During the party, Marcus helped with games, served cake, and cleaned up spills. He fit seamlessly into the domestic scene, and Jessica found herself remembering why she'd fallen for him in the first place. After the guests left and Lily was in bed, Jessica and Marcus sat on the balcony cleaning up. "Thank you for including me today," Marcus said. "It means more than you know." "You're important to Lily," and Jessica paused, gathering courage. "You're important to me, too." Marcus looked at her hopefully. "Jessica? I've been thinking about us, about what happened. You were wrong to lie to me, and it hurt deeply. But I also understand why you did it now. I was terrified of losing you. Instead, you guaranteed it. Trust is everything in a relationship, Marcus. Without it, love isn't enough. I know. I've learned that the hard way. But," Jessica continued, "I've also learned that people can change. That second chances are possible if both people are willing to work for them." Marcus held his breath. "I'm willing to try again, slowly, honestly, if you are." "Yes," Marcus said without hesitation. "More than anything." "Then we start over. No more lies, no matter how small. No more secrets, and we go slow this time." Marcus reached across the table and took her hand. "I promise you, Jessica, complete honesty from now on, about everything. And I promise to try to trust again. It won't be easy, but I want to try." 6 months later, Marcus proposed properly this time. Not as a wealthy CEO trying to impress, but as a man who had found his purpose in loving Jessica and Lily and helping families through their foundation. "I don't have much to offer except my heart and my promise to be honest with you always," he said, kneeling in the same park where they'd first walked together. "That's all I've ever wanted," Jessica replied through happy tears. Lily cheered and threw herself into their group hug. "Now we're really going to be a family." "We already were a family, sweetheart," Jessica said, looking at Marcus with love and trust restored. "Now it's just official." Their wedding was small and perfect, held in the community center where they'd first begun helping other families. Instead of expensive flowers, they asked guests to donate to the foundation. Instead of costly favors, they gave out information about volunteer opportunities. As they danced their first dance as husband and wife with Lily spinning nearby and their foundation families cheering them on, Marcus realized that he had found something more valuable than all his billions combined. He had found love, real love, built on honesty and shared purpose. And sometimes that's the greatest fortune of all. What did you think of Marcus and Jessica's story? Share your thoughts in the comments below and rate this story from 0 to 10. Do you believe that people deserve second chances when they've made mistakes out of love? Have you ever had to rebuild trust in a relationship? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss our heartwarming stories. Click the videos on your screen now to watch more incredible tales of love, redemption, and the power of honesty in relationships.